This account says if Marvel Games is smart, they should have Rivals and Tokon collab with each other, often to push both of these games' communities to play them as almost sister titles. I think this is a fantastic opportunity for the brand. I think this is more complicated than it seems. It seems pretty simple, right? Like Marvel is in two different gaming spaces. Why not have the two crowds play with each other? But I don't think it's gonna work. I think fighting games are very niche. It's either you like fighting games or you don't. Whereas I think a game like Marvel Rivals really appeals to the average gamer, whereas like a fighting game like Tokon definitely would not. Secondly, I've kind of seen this idea before. And I've talked about in my content previously, I thought Riot Games, the creators or producers behind League of Legends and subsequently 2XKO, I thought that there would be some synergy between those two spaces. And when I posted that video, players were like, these are two different spaces. There's no reason for League players to go over and play fighting games and vice versa. And I think that's kind of a similar argument here. I think obviously the Marvel Rivals player base, I would welcome an opportunity for them to join the fighting game community because like I said, the fighting game community is very niche and it's not as big as it seems. But I think those players would have to like want to play a fighting game, and I just feel like they don't. And I think we can look to how 2XKO was handled and how that kind of rolled out according to the players themselves, right? The League players in my comments sounded off and said the reason why the fighting game version of League, which is what 2XKO is, the reason why it didn't appeal to them was the character choices were off and that there was no cross promotion between the two spaces. And so even if we did have cross promotion between Marvel Rivals and Marvel Tokon, I don't know that this player base is interested in crossing over to Marvel Tokon. Whereas like the folks that play Tokon, I know a number of us in the fighting game community also play Marvel Rivals. I think the overall idea behind this makes sense and certainly is an opportunity, but I question whether or not the players would actually want to do that. At the end of the day, I think fighting games are very niche and I think you have to really be into them. Like, I don't know how one gets into a fighting game, let alone how you convince someone who enjoys Marvel Rivals to play Marvel Tokon. It just feels like the spaces feel so different, and I don't know that there would be a desire to cross over and try something else. I don't know that that would be like a thing.